On this week's episode, Peloton's new video game for the Bike and Bike Plus, Lanebreak, is out. And we also have dates for Peloton's upcoming celebration, Homecoming.
And rumor has it, we finally are going to see a rower on the platform. And do we have some competition? Peloton releasing their own podcast and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 70 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm John Pruitt, joined as always by my co-host, Amanda Siegel. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, John. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good. All good. Been a nice week. Crappy weather down in Florida, but you know what? It's all good. And just been busy and enjoying the week and enjoying my parents. They headed home this weekend. So flying solo for the next week, which is kind of nice. And all good. How about you guys? All good there?
Good week here. Yeah, we had a little warm up. All the snow melted. It's currently sleeting in Michigan right now, and it's
oh wow.
Let's see, rain, sleet. But I'm just happy to look out the window and just see grass. To see the lawn again. Yeah, and have all that salty mess from the road be washed away because that drives me crazy with the car, with the floor mats in the car. That
the worst.
That sets off my OCD. Yeah, so good week. Lots of workouts. We got lots of stuff to go through. So why don't we get through the little preamble here?
Absolutely.
And then we'll dive right in.
Absolutely. So folks, before we get started with the news, we always like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel, so just hit the subscribe button at the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button so that you never miss an episode.
Yeah, and if you don't want to look at our beautiful faces, you can just listen to us. We're on all traditional podcast platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy TV. Click subscribe, hit notifications so you never miss an episode. And please leave us a review. We love to read the positive reviews that we get, and we love to receive your feedback. So please let us know how we're doing if you love the show.
Yeah, and we actually did get a couple. I know that Chris had put out what you guys would like to see, and there's been some requests for us to go back to putting interviews in. So definitely something. There's just been so much news lately. We feel like more than an hour of us, maybe too much, but an interview would definitely be something that we're going to start bringing back. So hopefully we'll start getting members and fun people on the show, and you can learn more about folks' journey. So thanks for that suggestion, and we'll definitely go back to that. And of course, folks, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and now Twitter. Just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on those platforms for all of the latest news, so that you never miss anything. And I guess, John, let's get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
Well, kicking off, so the video game for the Peloton, Lanebreak, has now debuted. It should be available by the time everyone is listening or watching this. You should have access to it on your Bike or Bike Plus. But it was rolled out on Wednesday, and then I noticed on Thursday, Jackie had access to it too, because on the first day, I only was able to access it under my leaderboard name and account on her Bike Plus and my bike. But I did have a chance to try it out on Thursday. I did the little tutorial, which was helpful in kind of understanding, you use the resistance knob to move left or right over the various lanes, and you're controlling this little digital tire on this little Tron-like racetrack, this lighted racetrack. But that was helpful to kind of learn it's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. But I did a 5-minute adult soft rock game, and it was all to Phil Collins in the Air Tonight, which was kind of cool, just riding down and hearing the In the Air Tonight playing as I did it. And that was fun. I was glad it was only 5 minutes. I was getting a little bored, so maybe there's other games that are a little more interesting, but I was just getting tired of jumping from lane to lane, with the different things that I had to do, the speed ups, that you have to hit at different points, the hurdles. It was cool, though.
So interesting. I did it too. And I figured before we recorded, I wanted to make sure that I had kind of test driven it. I loved it. I have to tell you, I had no expectation whatsoever. And I think I'd mentioned on the show before when, we had gotten notification thing, and I didn't that, we could know if I was interested, test it. I really enjoyed it. I did a 20-minute pop, and it was hard. It was really hard. And I think what I got out of it the most is that you really have to listen to the cues. So you really do have to, there's one of them where you have to kind of follow cadence. And if you go over the cadence, you don't get the points. You really had to stick in the cadence. So I thought that was really interesting. And the same with pushing the resistance. If you didn't push hard enough, you didn't get all the points that you could, or the bonus points. So I didn't do too badly. I posted my stats on my social media because I thought it was kind of cool and fun. But I will do it. I think, maybe once or twice, just for something different. I did miss having an instructor there, but I figured it was something different. Now I had a question, John. I don't know if you know the answer to this. Is will we be able to kind of race other people, or is it purely a solo type thing? I couldn't figure that bit out.
So right now it appears it's just solo. I haven't heard any inkling of if you'll be able to go head to head with someone or multiple people, maybe like a sessions, maybe they'll add like a sessions feature to it. But I did see, my leader, I finished 34th out of a very small number overall that had done the 5-minute game that I had done. So and I know I missed a hurdle. So
I didn't do too badly. I finished 12th out of
that's decent.
Out of 67, I think it was. So it wasn't bad. I did the beginner. I just kind of, did a beginner class. And I got to tell you, I was drenched after those 20 minutes. I really was, it was a workout. It was a workout. And I think it's something
I was
fun.
I was already, because I did it right after I did Hannah Frankson's 30-minute dance hall ride on Thursday afternoon. So it was basically my cool down. And just so if anyone's wondering, it does count towards your cycling ride count.
I saw that too. So, and it shows up.
Just a heads up. Yeah. But it counts towards your overall. So it was only a 5-minute game. So I might delete that at some point when I'm getting ready to do my next milestone. But just so anyone is aware, if they don't want to mess up their stats or whatever for an upcoming milestone. It does go towards your cycling ride count. We're just a heads up there.
Yeah. But it's cool. I guess we'll see where it goes. But I definitely thought it was cool. I have to say, it was just something different. I like the fact that, it's finally out there, and we'll see where it goes. But
I did see, I don't know about you, you're on a Plus. I was on a bike, but I did see a little bit of a lag. Like at some point there would almost be like a little delay for a half a second, and then all of a sudden it would jump down the track a little further. Just almost like a little lag in the game loading. But I'm sure they'll work out any kinks.
Yeah, I didn't see that, so I don't know if that was a bike versus a bike plus thing. I didn't feel that, at least. It seemed to have gone pretty smoothly. But I like how it kind of gives you your percentage as to how far you had gone. It gives you your stars. So as you kind of get through in a 20-minute, each third gives you a star. Yeah. You kind of get to your stars and gives you your points at the end. It was cool. I thought it was very cleverly done.
I did like a lot of the different music. There's tons of different music options. So there's like pop, there's David Bowie remixes. I also heard that DJ John Michael curated a lot of the music playlists for some of the different game playlists, which is pretty cool. But lots of different choices. that you have there. So there's plenty to choose from. Yeah.
And look, there are a lot of folks out there, believe it or not, that just ride. So for them, it's just a different way of riding, you know? Yeah. No, I liked it. I liked it. Well, John, we can now officially say Peloton will be releasing a rower. Can we? On Monday morning, the Financial Times published a report, folks, that the Peloton Rower, codenamed Caesar, is in active development and actually being tested in employees' homes. So, which I found was interesting that they didn't beta test it through members, but are actually using employees. Not sure whether it's instructors or just employees, within the Peloton network. We do think that it potentially could be announced during Peloton's Homecoming, that John will talk about more in the show. So that could be interesting. The Times shared that the classes could be taught by both coaches in studio, and there might also be classes out on the water. So I thought that was cool. Interesting. Yeah. So if they kind of take it out to the Thames, because we have a sneaky feeling that we know potentially two instructors that could be rowing instructors on the platform. My boy, John Husking, and Justin Thompson-Rule. So we'll wait. There's been no confirmation, but Justin was a rower, and as was John. So maybe that's where he's been for the last month, huh? That he hasn't been on the tread platform. I'm not giving anything away. I'm not giving anything away, but it does kind of make sense that potentially could be who would start it out. So I'm looking really forward to potentially that coming. I do have to say, I do not know how the hell I am going to convince my husband that I need a rower. I know we discussed it before. You said you had no interest. I mean, if John's an instructor, I'm getting a rower. I mean, it's like no question.
Do you have a space for it?
I do have space.
Go? Okay.
Yeah. When I redid the gym a couple weeks ago, I took out my elliptical trainer. So I actually have a spot right there for it. So we'll see. So they stated, the Financial Times did state that they actually have seen photos and specs of the rower, but they didn't share any in their report. So nothing was shared. They just said that they had seen. So that's interesting. They also reported that Peloton is developing a tonal competitor. And the code name for this project is Cobra. Unlike tonal, though, Cobra does not attach to the wall, and it actually pairs with a television rather than a dedicated touch screen. So, of course, I had, when Chris released this information, I had a complete panic attack with just a week left to potentially return my tonal, because they do give you a 30-day, option to return. But you know what, John, there's no indication of when it's going to be. With everything, all the changes and everything that's happening right now, I don't foresee it being, certainly not within the year, especially if the rower is going to come out this year. So I think for now, I'm probably just going to stick with my tonal. But it is interesting. I mean, it's definitely going to be different, though, to the Peloton guide that we have shared with you guys, and which is being released in 2 months. So it is going to be a different, kind of strength workout. So I guess, we're going to have to wait and see what they're ultimately doing, but it's there. Oh, God bless you.
Thanks.
God bless you. Sneezing on the truth. My mother always used to tell me that if you sneeze on something, it's the truth. So that means that Cobra is in the works. And then the Financial Times did also get to interview the new CEO, Barry McCarthy. And he revealed that they would be looking at Peloton's pricing structure moving forward, that they are looking at changing that, and that it could possibly get changed. So that's going to be an interesting, they haven't done anything. I mean, it's been the same since the bike was released back in 2015. It's never changed from that $39 for an all access membership. So with all these new, with all these new things, I'm sure that there may be something that will change. He did share too that he was not planning on trying to sell the company, but rather focus on content by expanding the digital community and enhancing the content. So some interesting stuff came out of that Financial Times report. And, I think he's being smart. I think he's, taking things slowly. And we'll just have to wait and see what actually, happens.
Yeah, I would think that, if there's some sort of tonal equivalent, it would be well after the rower would come first, obviously, because we've been hearing rumblings of that for a long time now. So the tonal thing's probably, I'm sure it's a ways away. It's somewhere in development. So,
right.
But I'm excited. I'm excited about the rower. I did crew in boarding school for the 1 year I went to boarding school.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hated it because after you would go rowing, first they would bus you to this place in Massachusetts where my boarding school was. And we'd row, and then they'd make you run back to school.
Oh my word. They would leave
you there and you had to run back. So and I joined the football team for the rest of the semester, but I'm excited for the rower.
Yeah. It's been interesting because I've just been reading Justin Thompson Rule's book. I spoke about it the other day, and she was really into it, and it was amazing to really read about her experience in rowing. She had danced and had, interestingly enough, lost a toe in dancing. And went on to rowing in college. And she said it was tough. It was definitely a tough workout to have. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I think it's going to be, hopefully get to hear about it at Homecoming. So tell us about Homecoming.
Yeah. So just as quickly as Pelo Buddy discovered the landing page for Homecoming 2022 was updated, pretty quickly thereafter it was taken down and it was reverted to the previous year's 2021 Peloton Homecoming landing page. So it's almost like as soon as Chris Lewis from Pelo Buddy discovers these changes, Peloton realizes their mistake and quickly does an about face and takes it down. So Peloton's annual, it's usually the first weekend in May. It's Peloton's annual member celebration where they invite members. Normally you pay $100 for a ticket, and it's a weekend, Friday to Sunday event. But this it's happening a little bit later in May this year, according to the website page before it was taken down, and it's just over 2 days, May 13th and 14th. It will be completely virtual for a second year in a row. But before it was removed, and we have a screenshot on pelobuddy.com there. You can see it for yourself. The description read, "It's here, Peloton, and this year's Homecoming is all virtual, so our entire global community, all 6+ million of you, can join the celebration. We've got 2 days of epic live classes planned on our platform, plus inspiring panel discussions, exciting announcements that they'll be hosting here at Homecoming. .onepeloton.com. So stay tuned for the lineup reveal. And there was a sign up link that was there. I actually didn't get a chance to sign up for it, which I don't know. But when you try to do it now, it takes you to the 2021 page, which is old. But also,
I guess what's exciting, John, is we know that it's coming. I know you're disappointed. For it to have been, an in-house thing. And people will be scrambling to get, as you said, there'd only be a certain amount of, tickets that would be available.
Yeah.
So, this way it gives everybody all over the world an opportunity to be able to participate, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah. Last year, I think my favorite thing about the whole virtual event was doing the little chat roulettes with various members that you would get randomly matched with on your computer. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
because I was talking to people I was talking to people in Germany, in Amsterdam, and London. I even got connected with a couple random people that I knew through instructor, tribes, and some of the instructors were doing it too. I know Dennis was on there, and some of the other instructors were doing it and talking to random members virtually. So it's better than nothing.
Of course.
But that leads us to another glimmer of hope now.
It does.
About being in person again.
It does, and I guess the question is. That has been on all of our, certainly the OGs and those that have had the ability to be in studio. We've been asking for ages as to when the studio will open. And we did, in fact, hear on the Peloton Facebook page, when they were talking about Homecoming, I guess, folks said, okay, that's great, but when are the damn studios opening? We're done. We want to hear about this. And while we still don't have an official date, Peloton have said that both New York and London are slated to open in the fall. So, this is really exciting because I think it will be, it's certainly the first time that we're kind of getting something a little bit more specific from Peloton. They're actually kind of giving us a time frame. So that part is really exciting. And it'll be the first time that folks will get to be in both the new PSNY, which they started filming back in March of 2020, and the new London studio in Covent Garden, which became the European home, I guess, for both Germany and the UK, with the instructors filming out of there from September of last year. So again, we still have no official word though on what the opening of the studio to the public will look like. Will we have to book? Will there be reservation? Will there be that same that we had to do before, that 12 noon on a Monday? You can book. And what fitness modalities will be available to take in person? Is it going to be just bike and tread? Are they going to bring in, the strength stuff too? Are they going to do, yoga and meditation as well? So that's something that I guess we're just going to have to wait and hear. And then of course, the last question on everybody's mind is, with so much changing from the COVID perspective, will folks have to, show proof of vaccination, and will people have to wear masks? Now there are lifting masks in so many places. So those are kind of all things that we're not sure of and we're waiting to hear about. But I think it is kind of exciting that we can, we have a date and we kind of have a time frame, and we can look towards the fall, and hopefully it will come to fruition. Yeah. So I'm, you and I are excited. We definitely are.
I mean, it feels like light years ago that we were at this, at the studio. I mean, almost
John, it was light years ago. It's 2 years ago. I mean, seriously, this weekend.
It's crazy all this time. And I know a lot of newer members that came on at the very start of the pandemic. They're only used to classes, to empty studios with no members. And I've seen a lot of their opinions voiced that they're saying, I hate the idea of seeing people in the studio. But I think once those people actually do a class, if they take a class in the studio, they'll see how exhilarating it is and how fun an experience it really is, and how there's a whole element that's just not there right now in terms of the energy and the instructor interacting back and forth with people in the studio. I know a lot of people just view it as a distraction, but it really wasn't. Of fun.
Yeah.
And a lot of it in the studio to interact with. And I know Jen with her regulars that have been, her OGs, and people have been, riding with her since day one. I know she misses that. And I know there's a lot of pre-shows that would be a lot more exciting if people were in the studio for the instructor to interact with before the show starts, before the ride or class starts. Right. So
it's so funny though, because I actually did I pulled a 10-minute cool down of Leanne's that was a 2019 cool down. And there were people and it was just fun. Oh my God, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Yeah. And I loved being on. And I guess they'll still produce classes without folks in the class. I don't think that all the classes will still be content. Filmed.
Yeah.
Correct.
The coach to camera content that just goes on demand. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not going to be everything. Hopefully, there'll still be free walk-in classes too, because I took advantage of those rides during the week, especially during the week in the daytime. A lot of those classes were just free walk-ins because they just wanted to fill the studio.
Yeah,
they didn't want the instructor teaching to an empty studio. So that was nice, not having to pay the
fee,
whatever it was, $35. Yeah, I can't even remember what it cost to book a spot in the studio. But
it was interesting because London you didn't pay, so I'm sure that there will be a fee now in the new studio to pay, which I would be more than happy to pay. Look, people do Soul Cycle and pay every time they go into the into the studio, so it would not bother me to have to pay to go in and do a live class. I would do it, more than happy to do it. So so I'm excited. So I guess we'll wait to see, but it's definitely something that is on the horizon. You can see the light
at the end. I feel like we can see the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of returning to the studio again. So
you hit it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So in other news, it appears Peloton is launching their own podcast. So, we had posted... Pelo Buddy had posted a screenshot of the landing page. It's going to be on Spotify, it appears. Peloton's they're getting ready to, now the page isn't there anymore, but they're getting ready to launch their very first podcast, and it's going to be titled Fitness Flipped. There was a teaser that was released on Monday, and it was a 15-second teaser with a montage of quotes from a lot of different instructors, Bex, Chelsea, Alex. Based on the description, it says members can expect 2 new episodes per week. Wow. A deep dive into a singular topic on Tuesdays, and a member interview on Thursdays, which sounds really intriguing.
Cool.
Cycling and bike bootcamp instructor Tunde will host it. The full description, I'll just read a portion of it. It says, Fitness Flipped, a Peloton Studios original, is where we flip the script on all things we think we know about fitness. Each week, Peloton instructor, athlete, author, and host Tunde Oyeneyin will sit down with some of the most interesting experts and personalities from the world of fitness and beyond. Olympians, musicians, sociologists, comedians, actors, to challenge and transform some of our own ideas about health, strength, and mental wellness. Awesome. And then every Tuesday, we'll dive deep into a topic. Thursday, you'll hear a story from a Peloton member about their personal experience. So that sounds kind of cool.
Very cool.
And as we had added an update, Peloton's temporarily removed the Spotify page for the podcast. So keep an eye out for it to pop back up, probably just before it officially launches. But no, that sounds kind of fun.
Do you think they're taking a page from our book, John Pruitt? They're sick and tired of us sharing everything. They want to do this themselves.
Maybe they'll ask one of us for an interview. Who knows? Maybe we'll cross over and be on Fitness Flipped.
Who knows, right? Who knows? Well, I told you when I was in London, they certainly knew about the show, and I had our friend Boss Bitch 122, Sandy, was in her Peloton store in Long Island, and the sales assistant, and I haven't heard the true story. I'm actually going out for dinner with her tonight, so I'll hear more. But the sales assistant said to her, do you ever watch that Pelo Buddy show? And she just packed out laughing. And she goes, yeah, one of my best friends is the co-host. And they were like, oh God, because they know everything before we do. And I'm like, yeah, we do. But we make it fun. Right. All right, John. So I guess on a little bit more disappointing note, it is now official that Peloton has decreased the number of referrals that a member is given from 12 to 6. We saw this go live, I guess, Thursday morning with no warning at all. And you know what, to be honest, John, I find it very disappointing as why they wouldn't want members to refer more people is just baffling to me. I mean, giving away $200 to earn way more on someone purchasing the hardware, just, I don't know, is it really going to make that much of a difference to them? I personally think it's a pretty stupid move on their part. It definitely incentivized us to push, to continue to push the platform and the products. And, Yeah, I mean, I know that I'm almost out of mine, and we're in February. So, I've used up 5 referrals. I have 1 to go, and I think you said you have the same, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty soon going to have to start using Jackie's code. At least I have another one since we have 2 memberships, so I can start providing her code. But yeah, I think the company's obviously looking to cut costs wherever they can with, all the recent changes and layoffs. And obviously they're looking at the bottom line with the money that they burn for referrals and apparel credits. And I think they're also trying to maybe crack down on people publicly putting their code on public sites, which goes against the terms of the referral program. Because I know randomly a couple of weeks ago when I was messaging with y'all that all of a sudden my referral page was gone, and I called in and they said it had been deactivated, and then they said, "Oh, was your code posted publicly anywhere?" And I said no, and they verified or did something, and then they restored it. So I don't even know what that was all about, but I had to I didn't have access to it for a couple of weeks. I just thought they were revamping it at that point, but I had to call in and they had to straighten it. But I do know people have had their codes deactivated permanently because they've posted it, publicly on their website, on their Instagram profile, or on discount websites like Honey, where you can plug in your code, and people who go and purchase the Peloton bike through honey.com, they can access, people's codes that are loaded there and just generate a whole bunch of referrals real quickly. They come down on people that way too, I've heard.
Yeah.
But it's a bummer.
And I look at it from the opposite side. I mean, I got to tell you, so I had got all these referrals over the last few weeks, and I end up spending way more money by using my referrals than if I didn't have the referrals, because, you only get that $100. That really gives you maybe 1 or 2 things. I always end up finding 1 or 2 extra things I want to buy. And just recently I used 2 referral codes and I ended up spending probably $60 over on each one, because I wanted certain things. So I got to tell you, I don't know. I don't think it's a great move on their part. I mean, I was even irritated with just having 12. So now having 6 really sucks.
I know.
But anyway.
Cut in half. It's a bummer.
Yeah. So anyway, we wanted to let you guys know.
we digress. But in more exciting news, we've got another Cody XOXO Cody ride coming up. It's on the schedule. I'm sure we'll hear, more announcement fanfare about it from Cody himself. But it's on Tuesday, March 1st. So right around the corner, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And if you haven't caught Cody's most recent XOXO Cody ride from a week ago, Friday, check that one out in the meantime. That one was a lot of fun, really funny playlist. And I'll talk more about it in my picks of the week coming up later on in the show. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you guys enjoy the last 2-for-1 with Alex and Tunde? Well, if the answer is yes, get excited, because another live party will happen on Monday, February 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The ride is labeled Black History Month Block Party. And I think we all know with Alex and Tunde in the saddle, it's going to be one hell of a party. I unfortunately have not done the previous one that they had, but I guess it's the way of Peloton kind of wrapping up Black History Month, and what a way to do it. With a 2-for-1 party with Alex and Tunde on the bike. I am definitely going to do that one. That is definitely bookmarked for me to do. So February 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to jump on live, I will certainly be on the leaderboard. So yeah, I think that's exciting.
Nice. Yeah. No, I love them. They have great chemistry. So those rides, the interaction with them is so much fun. So I'm sure
they need to do more of those because it is fun. Yeah, they really are fun.
And in other news, so with the Super Bowl that happened this past week, there were several classes that had halftime show music playlists. So a lot of the artists that were in the Super Bowl halftime show, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop. There were several classes. They weren't officially labeled in the class description, but all the music for the most part was from all the artists in the Super Bowl halftime show. So I did this one live, his 45-minute hip hop ride. from Saturday the 12th. It had a couple songs with Dr. Dre and Eminem, Snoop. There was Kendrick Lamar. There was 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige. He threw in a Tupac song, California Love. And what was funny in that ride, at one point, he predicted that 50 Cent was going to make an appearance in the Super Bowl halftime show. And he said, I'll put money on it. He says, who wants to put money on that? So, he was, and 50 Cent, he dropped in to the Super Bowl halftime. He appeared hanging upside down. Which was hilarious. But Daniel's most recent Walk Plus Run had a Super Bowl halftime themed playlist. Marcel's 20-minute hip hop walk from Monday the 14th. Same thing. And Kendall's 30-minute hip hop ride from Monday the 14th as well. So check those ones out if you like all those artists from the Super Bowl halftime show. They're filled. All those classes are filled with them.
Yeah, and I guess talking about the Super Bowl and the iconic lineup that you just mentioned, one of those icons actually dropped as a new artist series this past week too, right? So the queen of hip hop and R&B legend Mary J. Blige is the new artist series for this past week. In Peloton's announcement of the new series, Mary was actually included with a short video, which was really cute to see. And she, was really excited and said, I'm telling you guys, definitely do it, and that she looked forward to seeing us on the leaderboard. So, assuming, I guess, Mary has a bike. Who knew? What's that leaderboard name, Mary? But the series included 6 classes, and they all dropped live actually just this past Wednesday. So the 16th of February, we had UK tread instructor Jermaine Johnson had a 30-minute run. My girl Aditi, a 20-minute yoga flow. Kristin Ferguson did a 30-minute walk plus run. Jess Sims did a 30-minute full body strength, and Tunde had a 30-minute ride. And then on Thursday, the following day, Cody had a 30-minute bike boot camp, which closed out the series. I did that one live. Did you do it live? I was wondering if you did that live. I did it with Jackie. I was sure you did. And was it fun?
It was fun. And Jackie, though, she got bored in like the last 5 minutes and she bailed. I was looking across the room and when we finished the floor segment and we're getting back on the bike, I noticed she was still standing on the floor, like looking at her bike tablet still swiveled. I was like, I shouted over, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I got bored. I'm doing something else. There was 4.5 minutes left in the class. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That sucks.
Shame on you, Jackie. It was fun.
Absolutely.
The floor segment was really long and it was tough. Like I was pretty gassed towards the end, but it was fun.
Interesting. Yeah. So what was interesting what they've been doing and what they did actually with the Wednesday lineup was they were literally back to back to back to back. So they had them all on Wednesday evening, starting, I believe it was at 6, and they kind of kept on going. So there was, Jermaine's run, and then they went straight into Aditi's yoga flow, and then they went into the strength. Yeah. And so it was an interesting way of how they're kind of doing these now. They were all live. None of them were on demand, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Another other upcoming artist series. So it has been announced and confirmed. We have a tribe called Quest. I think we thought it was going to happen this past week, but we had the Mary J. Blige one instead. But this coming week, we're going to have the Tribe Called Quest artist series. But there's already an apparel line that goes with it that's out right now. There was 4 or 5 different pieces to choose from, mostly on the women's side, but there is a unisex full zip up hoodie that looks kind of nice. I didn't get anything.
I did.
But the artist series drops.
I actually did.
Oh, you got it?
I did. I didn't get the hoodie. I got the bra top. I got the yellow bra top. I thought it was kind of cute.
Nice. Yeah, I think Robin was modeling that one on the apparel store. But it looking like as of right now, they're saying that it's going to drop on the 23rd. As of right today, there's been no specific announcement on who's teaching what, but Robin has the ride slot on Wednesday night right now, the 23rd, which I think is labeled as a hip hop ride. And Chase or Jess could have the run on Wednesday evening as well, because they're both, I believe right now it's showing hip hop runs. So they could have one of them or both of them could have be doing something Tribe Called Quest. So
interesting. Yeah. And I guess maybe they're doing the same thing there, where Wednesday night it'll kind of be back to back with staggering it all, which would be interesting. And then it looks like Dennis's Fresh Fridays are back. What is that, you ask? Dennis co-curated a playlist with one of Chi-Town's finest, Common, which will give riders an opportunity to, as Dennis says, fall in love with hip hop all over again. So that's kind of fun. I've never done his Fresh Fridays. Had you ever done any of these? He had done it in the past.
I did when he first started doing them, maybe in 2018. And and I really did like some of them because he would play, I think this is the series, he would play a well-known song by an artist. So like say the Killers, he would play like a well-known song by them, like say Mr. Brightside. And then he would play a lesser known sort of like B-side track by them.
Like to get you to understand and know it a bit better.
To sort of dive a little deeper. And so it was cool because I discovered some of that artist's material that I hadn't heard before. So it was kind of cool that way. It's been a while since I've done it. I can't even remember the last time he did that series, but it's a nice change up from some of the other typical themes that we get on the platform.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes.
And then we've got lots of new content. So on in honor of Valentine's Day, on the 14th, we had a drop of a whole bunch of new classes that dropped on demand, featuring different moods. So there was salty, sweet, and spicy. And each class description explains what each of these moods means. And salty, they have it as sweat it out if you're feeling down on love. This class is perfect for turning that frustration into power and good energy. Spicy, spice things up. This fiery class will unleash your inner confidence and celebrate your self-love. And then there's sweet. This one's described as love is all around. This short and sweet class is full of positivity and perfect for those who want to celebrate love of all kinds. So there's 15 new classes spanning 6 modalities that were put out last Monday morning. It covers cycling, running, strength yoga, walking, HIIT cardio. A whole slew of instructors taught different ones. Marcel, Jess King, Maddie, Rebecca, Kristin McGee, Callie, Camilla Ramon, Christine, Mariana, Kristen Ferguson, your favorite, Aditi, she's in there, and Adrian Williams, he's also in there as well. We've got a link to the full class listings on pelobuddy.com, which has been updated with the latest drop there. So I haven't had a chance to do any of them.
Me neither. This week was a slow week for me. But they look fun. They look fun. And I like the 15 minutes. Yeah,
they're quick. They're short and sweet. But a lot of instructors had shared their excitement in this round of classes via social with like these cute little Valentine's posts. I know Callie and Christine had shared some, it said like roses are red, violets are blue. It was kind of cute. It was like a little Valentine's card. Describing their mood class.
Yeah. So I guess something to look forward to do. Yeah, we can stack them. And they're good for stacking. You want to add on, you do a 30-minute class and you want to add on a quick 15-minute. That's a nice way of doing it. So I like
stacking
those.
Stuffer.
Yeah, I like those. On Wednesday, interestingly enough, a new yoga program and training plan was launched. It's a 1-week power restorative yoga led by Ross Rayburn. The program has 7 total classes to take over the course of a week. And the full list of classes can be found, of course, on pelobuddy.com. Peloton is actually testing this as the first program in a new series called The Approach. Peloton was heard to be said, immerse yourself in training that shifts your relationship to your body and your fitness routine. Cultivate balance between effort and ease as you take your practice to the next level. The program describes itself as, in order to achieve peak performance, our bodies must take time for rest and recovery. In the 7-day yoga program, Ross will teach you how to use the ability to listen to your body to maximize its capacity to heal. And of course, it wouldn't be a program if there was no badge. So you can, in fact, earn a badge. You earn a bronze badge for completing 3 of the classes, silver badge for completing 5, and gold badge if you complete 6 out of the 7 classes. And as with any of the training programs, you can join it through the tablet, on your bike, or tread, through your Android or iPhone app, or through the Peloton website. And just as a reminder, folks, simply browse, to the programs area, find the Power Restorative Yoga with Ross program, and join the program. So definitely something that I am planning on doing this coming week. So as you know, I'm really into my yoga lately, and I love Ross. And I think that'll be a nice way to just kind of do something on a beginner's level, I think. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know next week.
Nice. Well, the Ride to Greatness with Alex Toussaint, that wrapped up this past Thursday night. Now, obviously, we're recording this at the time of recording. That ride has not taken place yet, but I'm going to go out a limb here and say that Validate won it based on the last 2 rides. Validate has won pretty handedly, and I didn't actually realize, because Peloton was saying this is the final ride, but I thought it was based on wins. But it's based on, actually, this time around, it's based on overall points. Okay. So basically, after 3 rounds, the 3 rides, whichever team has the most points overall from each ride, that'll be the victor. So unless they, had a huge, unless they won by a huge margin on Thursday night, I don't think they're going to pull it out, because, they lost by 10 or 12 points, the past 2 games they had there, those 2 rides. So I think it's safe to say, and I'm Team Activate, and I didn't partake this time around, but it sounds like Validate, they easily won it.
Pulled it out of the park.
Yeah. Just so you know, for this past Thursday night, we had our celebrity captains for this round. There was actually 2 captains for Validate this past Thursday night. There was former NFLer Jerry Rice and pro basketball player Skylar Diggins-Smith. They were the captains for Team Validate. And the captain for Team Activate was pro basketball athlete Breanna Stewart. So yeah, hopefully next time they do this, they'll do it on, they'll bring it back to Saturday.
I agree.
They'll switch it up again. It would be nice if they, did it on the weekend, at least on Saturday or Sunday.
I mean, my personal feeling, John, is that I feel like it kind of fell flat. There wasn't that much hype around it. I never really, through social and stuff, I just never felt there was much hype around it.
Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot of buzz about it. I feel like there was definitely more the first time around. Maybe it was because it was new. But and also they did celebrity captains every time this time, which I wasn't really crazy about. They Peloton posted all the celebrities' leaderboard names. They're all private profiles. I just wasn't that into it.
Motivated
they didn't really
to do
post
it.
they didn't really post or share anything. At least when last year they had members being captains, they were sort of, posting on social media, hyping everyone up on both teams. It just felt more fun. There was more smack talk going around, definitely the first time around, when I was actually, participating in it. But I think you're right. But hopefully they'll switch it up. They'll change it back to the weekend if they do it again. So
we'll see what happens. And a couple other new things that we saw happen this past week. If a ride or run has explicit music in it, there is now a pop-up that will appear on the screen asking you if you are sure you want to proceed with the workout. I saw that pop up this week and I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
this acknowledgement.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Now also Android members are also able to preload classes on the app. Before it was only an option for iOS members, but now both iOS and Android folks can preload a class, allowing you to download the audio and video so that you are not limited by your data plan or a spotty Wi-Fi connection. So for folks who aren't sure what that means, with a preloaded class, one will only need a limited amount of internet connection in order to gather the metrics and display the leaderboard. As a refresh on how to preload a class, just select the class you want to take, tap on the preload button underneath the class name and description, accept the confirmation model that pops up next, and then after the class is downloaded, you'll see a check mark that will inform you it's ready to be taken. When you're ready to find the preloaded classes, just go to the dedicated preload page at the bottom of the class page. And on that previous page, you will see all the classes that you've actually preloaded. And those of you that suddenly saw a friend count icon on the iOS device, that's something new as well. So you can now see when you are looking at wanting to take a class, you can actually see not which of your friends, but you can see how many of your followers that you follow on the platform have taken that class. So that was something kind of new that you saw in the top left-hand corner. So those were just a couple of new things that popped up this past week that we wanted to inform you about. And I guess, John,
I thought that little friend count was actually, if you were looking at an on-demand class, it was a count that told you how many of your friends are currently in it. But it's actually
it was who had
how many of your friends have taken it.
Yes.
Okay. So I was misunderstood on that. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. It was how many had taken it. So just something different. I mean, you couldn't see who unless you kind of went into the class and took it, and then you could filter the leaderboard by who's, of your followers has been in that class, which I actually do a lot. I often do that. When I do an on-demand class, I usually pull up my the folks that I follow, and it's kind of fun. I'm kind of chasing them on my own, but I like to see that. So I do that often.
Yeah, I just want to make sure nobody's sneaking up on me at the end that I follow.
Right.
if I gotta turn it up a little bit there.
Exactly. Jonathan, I guess next up is instructor in the news. Not too much, but you go ahead and hit it off.
So first up, there was a Bloomberg article this past week titled "Peloton Should Abandon Hardware and Become the Android of Fitness," and it was saying how Peloton should stop making manufacturing their own equipment for treadmills and exercise bike and just focus on the software, licensing it into other third-party bikes like NordiTrack and Echelon. They say exiting the hardware business and focusing entirely on their content and software will be what, helps them long-term financially, and continuing to grow. They said, Peloton arguably has the best software and content for their treadmills and bikes. It's app for iPhone and Android phones, tablets, set-top boxes is top-notch. And they're just basically saying the company should reinvent itself around these strengths and focus on that. And they go on to say, the idea would be to partner with equipment makers, turn their software content into the Android, because Android, software is on so many things now, and they run Android on the bike tablet and probably on the tread tablet as well. But there are plenty of companies building home fitness machines already. Peloton doesn't need to be one of those. They can focus their strengths and talents on those things that are already so well regarded. And working with companies like Echelon, NordiTrack, Schwinn, and others, they could upgrade all of those popular bikes and treadmills by putting their operating system and fitness content on it. Now, interesting idea. I wonder how that could have, what that would look like if it's even possible, with the leaderboard aspect and how that bike
it changes the whole concept, I think.
It sounds, they make it sound really easily. Just put your software into an Echelon bike and voila, you're basically riding a Peloton, but I don't think it's that simple.
Have you ever ridden an Echelon bike?
No. I've stuck my nose at it plenty of times at Costco when I've walked by. But,
I think I told the story once on the show where I was at a Costco and I literally saw 3 people returning their Echelon bikes on the same day. It just happened to be like that. I'm like,
it sounds
okay.
You know what? I would put an analogy like it's like putting a silk hat on a pig.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't know if that would work. It's much easier said than done, but to implement that, it sounds like it would be quite a challenge. And also,
I don't think
they've already got all their content. They've already got all their software. They don't want to unlock that and put Peloton in there. They want to stay Echelon or NordicTrack.
I mean, great for Bloomberg to say it. Personally, I don't think it's a smart concept at all. But again, that's just our feeling.
I definitely don't see that as the direction that they want to go. But Bloomberg's looking at it from a financial perspective, with operating system royalties. So it makes more sense to them obviously, but from like a logistics, that just sounds like, too much of a challenge, which I don't think they want to even entertain. So interesting article though, nonetheless.
Yeah. And moving on to the instructors, Kristin Ferguson was actually featured in vitadaily.ca in celebration of Black History Month. Kristin chatted about how the community spreads support and love on and off the leaderboard every day. She went on to share a little bit about herself, which I thought was actually really interesting. She, as we all know, is one of the newer additions to the Peloton Tread team. She's originally from Connecticut. She moved to New York to go to college. She actually went to FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology. And she said that after a couple of internships, she realized that fashion just wasn't for her. How interesting. And she actually turned to sport. She worked for the NFL in sponsorship marketing for 7 years. She said after the Beyonce Super Bowl halftime show, she realized that she probably couldn't top that. And she wanted to step away from the NFL. So she did. She chased after her dreams and became a mom. She did go on to share that she went through a pretty long fertility journey to achieve that goal of becoming a mom. And she said within that time, she fell in love with fitness. She said she found that healing and peace and fitness all kind of rolled into one and was something that she could control. As we all know, she did end up becoming a mother of 2 beautiful girls that she shares on her social very often. They're adorable. Eden, who is 6, and Emery, who is 5. The article also went on to share how she became a Peloton instructor. And for those of you that didn't know this, I mean, I think the article's fun to read, so you should go ahead and read it. I just took little bits and pieces out of it. But she was actually a Peloton member back from 2015. So she was an OG member.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
And she said that when we all went into lockdown, she said she pulled her bike out, dusted it off, and started doing IG Lives teaching her own classes. So I didn't quite understand how she did that, but apparently that's what she did. So maybe they would just ride classes. I'm not exactly sure of how she did that, but she said that one of the Peloton casting directors found her and invited her to actually audition. And that she kind of went on to share that was, although it was an audition initially for the bike, she ended up, on the tread. I guess they needed tread coaches, and she was obviously a runner and moved into tread, to being a tread coach. She also shared that Peloton was celebrating the Black community with Black History Month, and she said they had so much fun on the platform doing it. She said it was amazing to see the camaraderie within the Peloton instructor core group, and she said, it really was a party through the month of February celebrating Black History Month. So that was really cool to read.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very
cool. I didn't know she had, wow. It's the first time I've heard
she was a member.
Like such a long time. Yeah. For going way back to the very beginning.
Right. Yeah. I thought that was interesting too. Yeah.
Well, rounding out the instructors in the news, Tunde was recently interviewed for Shape, and it's titled Peloton instructor Tunde Oyeneyin spills the beans on her morning routine. So we have it linked on the pelobuddy.com website if you want to know all about Tunde's morning routine. I feel like Shape, they get like they get an instructor interview every week.
Right.
I don't know what
sometimes too.
if they're greasing someo's palm at Peloton or whatever, but yeah. They get all the interviews now, it seems.
They really have.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we just wanted to wish Ross Rayburn a happy birthday. He celebrated a birthday yesterday, and happy birthday, Ross. From us here at Pelo Buddy. And I guess, John,
get right into picks of the week.
Right into picks of the week. I will take it away. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right.
Keep it short and sweet.
I am tired of making excuses for loving Leanne. It is what it is, folks. And my first pick of the week is Leanne's 80s ride from Monday, February the 14th at 1:30 p.m. I mean, if you haven't taken it, you got to take it. I think it was the best 80s ride that I have ever taken. The playlist was fire. From her pre-show track of Starships, We Built the City. And she actually said that she will play it over and over again since she found out that it was the worst rated song of the 80s. And she was pissed about it. She said she doesn't understand how it was the worst. Right?
I don't get it either because it's a good song.
Great song.
There's way worse 80s songs. So that's surprising. I don't know what list. I don't know where she got that information from.
She heard that? Yeah.
But I've heard her mention it now a couple times.
She has, and she played it, and she's going to play it over and over again. But she went on to play Laura Branigan's Self-Control, George Harrison's Got My Mind Set on You, Culture Club's Karma Chameleon, Madonna's Like a Prayer. And my favorite of the ride was the Cool Down Sting's Englishman in New York. I just thought it just wrapped up that ride beautifully. It was a fantastic ride. And I highly encourage you to go ahead and take it. Next up, Strength.
My favorite track was George Harrison's Got My Mind Set on You. I always love the solo Beatles music that they can put in there. So
and I love how she said
that was my favorite.
And I love how she always said, she goes, does anyone else get like excited when you hear the beat drop, the different in the beat drop? And you did, you could hear it in all those tracks that she played. And obviously, being a dancer, music is amazing. And I love the way she relates to the music. And she's just so cool to watch. And I did like your little meme about getting your mindset on. I had a good chuckle there. I don't know if my husband thought it was so funny, but
I think
in my response
did she share my Insta story?
She did.
Okay,
she did share it. She did.
I lose track. I can't keep track of all the instructors sharing my stories.
You're too funny. But that was a good one.
Yeah.
And then next up, Strength. And John, your girl has won me over.
Rebecca?
I did Rebecca Kennedy's 30-minute, I repeat that, upper body strength from Tuesday, February the 15th. And yes, I did manage all 30 minutes. And honestly, John, it was fantastic.
It's not that bad. It goes by quick.
Yeah, it did go by quick. It did go by quick. She had 3 sets. And I loved her routines. I thought that was very cute too. Her music was awesome. And I have to say, I was a little bit more focused on figuring out whether I was going to be able to wash and dry my hair after the workout because it was all upper body. But I did. I managed to get through that. But it was a fantastic workout. Absolutely fantastic workout. And then onto the tread. I attempted my second 45-minute tread run, and this one was with Susie Chan. It was a 90s run on Wednesday, February the 16th. And yes, it was hard, but I am here to tell the tale, and I survived. I've said before, I've always been intimidated by Susie in the running modality. She is a frigging beast on the tread, and she even said when she got on the tread that she had run 10 miles in the morning, and she said, I don't know what I was thinking this morning. I might have forgotten that I was doing a 45-minute class, but of course she's like Forrest Gump. I think she could just run forever and never stop. I mean, clearly. But I have to say that, in the past, I'd always kind of stuck with her walks. But I said, you know what, I needed to get this run in and I wanted to go ahead and do it. And I will say I was doing it on the app because down here in Florida, I don't have the Peloton tread. I'm using the gym tread. So it was good though, because I didn't need to focus on chasing anybody on the leaderboard, but rather focusing on myself. And I did a me versus me. And you know what, honestly, John, that for me was brilliant because I could just
focus on... You did a me versus me?
I did a me versus me. Like I just was focused on me not dying and continuing to get through the run. And I was really happy. I mean, again, you can't compare your stats with anything because it's really just what I'm seeing on my watch. But I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Music was great. Her motivation is so encouraging, and I really, really recommend it. And then lastly, on the yoga platform, Aditi's 20-minute Mary J. Blige yoga flow. It was easy enough for me to do. I loved it. I loved how excited she was to be doing the artist series. And it was it was just 20 minutes, and it was a great yoga flow. So those are my picks of the week.
So when you do the Susie Chan run on the your apartment building treadmill,
the tread,
do you plop an iPad down, or you just have your iPhone? Okay.
No, I do the iPad.
So you have a decent.
I use the iPad. So I have a nice screen. Exactly. Gotcha. I have a nice screen, and then I'm not disturbed if my phone beeps or anything happens on my phone. I don't have to worry about it. I just do it on the app. And it's great. Gotcha. I mean, you do get, look, it's certainly harder not having the push to be able to do your speed. But now that I've been running more often, I'm more familiar with the tread. So I know kind of how I can jump it, kind of on the little push things on the side. And it's been working. It's been working great for me. So at least I'm getting my runs in. So I'm happy. Yeah.
There you go. All right, so I've got a trio of picks. So I'll kick it off with Cody's his most recent XOXO Cody ride. It was from Friday the 11th, and Valentine's Day themed. It was actually a kissing theme, so it was all basically songs like about kissing, or it had the word kiss in the song title. But he had a mix from Faith Hill, Doja Cat, Dua Lipa. He had Cher, Prince at the end for the cool down. He had the song Kiss the Girl from The Little Mermaid, the Disney animated movie, which was kind of funny. But lots of, what we all expect from Cody, with the comedy. He did the Q&A section where he took questions from members that he solicited, relationship questions from on social media. So there were some funny questions and responses from Cody. So that was just a lot of fun, 30 minutes. And then I'm going to switch over to the tread. Selena Samuela I can't believe I'm putting a country run in my pick of the week, but her 20-minute country run from Thursday the 17th was great. And I can't even believe I PR'd on a country
That's awesome.
playlist, but I PR'd on this and I wasn't even really looking. I just noticed I had the PR icon at the end of the class, but
that's awesome.
She's been doing kind of a runner's choice playlist where she'll ask for music suggestions for the warm-up song and for the cool down song, and then she'll take the most popular responses for each one and she'll like have you vote on it. So for the warm-up, it was between Fancy Like by Walker Hayes, you know, the Fancy Like Applebee's on a that song.
Yeah.
So it was between that song. So a lot of people had obviously submitted that one. I, on the other hand, I submitted the song "Little Bit" by Nelly and Florida Georgia Line, which I like a lot. And Fancy Like ended up winning out, and I busted her chops on social media. I was like, "Why does it have to be a popularity contest? Can't you just play my request?" and she ended up playing a little bit as the second song in the run. So she threw it in there.
Oh,
she
nice.
put both songs. So the run started out with Fancy Like, and then it went into a little bit. And I was like, yes, you know, like, cause that song kind of gets me a little hyped.
Nice.
And, you know, at one point at the beginning of the song, she was like, Prue, I hope you like it.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but yeah, a little bit Florida Georgia Line. It was just a fun 20-minute runs are, you know, that's my sweet spot on the tread for runs, you know?
Yeah.
It's not too much. I don't have to overexert myself. You know, I can get the sprints in, you know, 20-30 minute runs. That's my thing. But this was a good one. And I love Selena.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This was a fun one. Even if you're not a big country fan, you know, it's more mainstream country. It's not like old Texas country. Like, you know, Dennis likes a lot to play a lot of older, you know, Texas country, which is not my thing. But rounding out, we're going to go back to the bike with Kendall Toole. She had a 20-minute disco ride on Wednesday, the 16th. It's a lot of fun. Got some, you know, the OG of disco, Donna Summer, some Sister Sledge, Casey and the Sunshine Band. She threw in That's the Way I Like It. Just a fun, you know, quick 20-minute disco ride. And then she did a 20-minute hip hop. I think it was a hip hop ride right after that. But the disco ride was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Those are mine. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Yes. I think we have some good picks of the week. So I guess, John, that pretty much wraps it up. I guess a lot of info to share with you guys again this week. But yeah, I guess nothing else from us here. So hope you enjoyed the show. Please, as John mentioned at the beginning of the show, let us know your thoughts. Let us know if we missed anything, if there's anything that you would like to hear. And we'll definitely work on trying to see about, before Peloton gets to all the good ones, we'll definitely make sure we get a couple.
Don't jump ship. Don't just abandon us to listen. To listen to Fitness Flipped.
Peloton.
Because you'll still get all the Heard It Here First news before it goes to Fitness Flipped. You know,
for sure. They're not spilling any beans before it needs to be spilled. That's for sure.
One thing I do want to mention. So on Wednesday nights, Jen Sherman on her 30-minute classic rock ride. I didn't from the 16th. And a couple of people have messaged me after this, but I got the sense that we're going to be seeing a Bruce Springsteen artist series. From a couple things. She's never really, you know, said during a ride how much she would love to do a Bruce ride. So it was kind of out of character. She was like, man, I really wish I could, you know, I wish I had some news to announce to you that there's going to be a Bruce Springsteen ride. One can hope. And then at the very end of the Bruce song that she was playing, she said, all I want for Christmas and Hanukkah this year is a Bruce Springsteen ride. And she just said, a girl can wish. So it was like two different references she was hoping for. So I feel like it's happening. Don't know how far off it is, but it sounds like it's becoming a reality. Yeah, because it was totally random of her to say that. So yeah, I think it's coming.
All right.
And I know a lot of folks want a Bruce Springsteen artist series. So for all,
that
Bruce
could be
fans,
cool. Yeah, that could be very cool for sure.
Not my favorite music to ride to or work out to. I mean, he's got a couple of good songs, but people love Bruce. I love Bruce, but not my favorite workout music. Yeah, not my favorite workout music, but I know a lot of folks love him. So
would love it. All right. Well, I guess we'll wait and see whether that pops up somewhere. Yeah, good. Well, thanks for sharing that. On that note, folks, from me here down in Florida, hope you have a fantastic week. I will be back in Maryland next week. So I will see you all on the leaderboard.
And for me here in currently snowy Michigan, in the past hour, I'm looking out my window. I see at least 2 inches now. The grass is gone. There's no snow. It's covered in white outside.
Isn't that too funny how you started the show saying that you loved seeing the green grass?
It was rainy. Yeah, it was literally turned from rain and sleet to snow right now. Let me see if I can even... Oh, there's
there it is.
Look at that. Look at that shit. I love how I can... Crazy. So that's my view for anyone wondering what I can see right out my office window here. From currently snowy Michigan, appreciate you listening, watching us, and as always, we will see you on the leaderboard.
Bye for now, everybody.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.